What's up guys, after finishing Shadow Generations, I wanted to end off the series with a ranking of all the stages. Now as a full disclaimer, I am no Sonic Pro, which if you guys watched the Shadow series before you can tell obviously. Now some people are going to disagree with my ranking, which is fair, everybody's got their own opinion, but this is my channel and the only opinion that matters is mine. Now before I get into the rules and the blah 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 of how I rank this, I want to say I goddamn love Shadow Generations. The story, the stages, the open world hub, fucking Shadow. Sega really dropped a banger and I hope they'll continue to put the right foot forward. My only issue with the game really is I want more levels. It's full of great stages and even my least favorite levels I loved playing and will probably still replay a lot. Now to get into the explanation or rules part of the intro, I'll be ranking all 6 stages of Shadow's story, plus the Sonic 3 movie bonus DLC stage. So a total of 7 stages ranked from worst to best. Also the rankings are of the whole stage, Act 1 and 2. So I chose each stage and ranked it off a few different guidelines. The first being how much fun I had. Now in the main series, I did garbage at all the stages, but I've beaten the game a few more times since then. I've gotten way better, which you'll see in the background footage. I made sure to S-rank every stage for this video. The second criteria for ranking is music. Did that shit slap or was it buns basically? Then level design, shortcuts, use of chaos control skips, how fast you could go, set pieces, all that cool stuff. Then finally Doom Wings, how useful they were, if the level was designed with them in mind. I took all these things into account for this ranking. Before I get into the main part of the video, I want to say don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment of your favorite or least favorite level. I'm interested to see what other people think. Also watch my Shadow series before you continue this video. Aside from that, let's get into the ranking. Alright, coming in last place we've got Tokyo Act 1. Now at the time of writing this, the Sonic 3 movie hasn't come out yet. After watching Sonic 3, I may have a different opinion and like this stage more. So long story short, after watching the movie, it didn't change my opinion on this stage. Let me say first of all, I've got a lot of love for this stage, no joke, but it just doesn't hit like the other stages. Anyways, let's jump into it. So the first thing we see in this level is a destroyed Tokyo that looks the same as the place from the second trailer. Then we get to see a new Shadow who looks clean as fuck, who's also voiced by the GOAT Keanu Reeves.
Is that
me? Then Gun comes in after Shadow, which starts the level. You run through an abandoned street of Tokyo with cars everywhere, or you can run on the side of the walls. This area does have a chaos skip, which leads to a train yard section, where you have to go through subway surfers, getting over lasers and then heading underground. To keep it a buck, my least favorite section of the stage is the train yard part. It wasn't bad by any means, but it did screw up a few runs on my part. After going through the underground section, Shadow makes it back up to the top and into a cutscene. Which made me notice a cool design difference about this Shadow was his shoes. They shoot out blue flames or energy instead of red flames, like in the main game. Anyways, Shadow takes out the plane, then heads for the Tokyo skyline. Then there's this cool railway segment which has a lot of missiles shot at Shadow. Then the plane gets destroyed and Shadow does a cool ass dive off the tower, then heads back to the main game. Now when it comes to the music of this stage, I don't like it. It's the Westopolis song, shout out to Jordan, you know your shit. But the song didn't hit like literally every other stage's song. Now I love this stage, don't get me wrong, but compared to every other stage, this one's just lacking. It doesn't have Doom Wings or another act, which just means it couldn't stand up to the rest of the crowd. Now moving on to the first of the main game stages, we've got Rail Canyon. I know, most people thought it'd be Sunset Heights. I won't lie, replaying the stage again before writing the script, I love Rail Canyon. But my issue and what is getting the stage ranked so low is it's all fucking rails. Which I know was the point. It's an amazing stage. You do get platformed areas with enemies between rail sections, which spices up the gameplay. There are good skips in the level, whether it be the high ground, side path, or chaos skips, which all give some good diversity. The Doom section has a cool ass intro, which is followed by a lot of skydiving, but this whole stage is just on rails basically. I will say the stage does do rails right though. You have to contend with obstacles and enemies. Some of those enemies even blow up pathways you could take. Then there are switches to hit throughout the level which move tracks, and that is the gimmick of this level. When it comes to Act 1's music, it's pretty good. It's a guitar and bass piece which goes great with the stage, but when it comes to Doom Wings in this level, they're pretty much useless. Not that they don't help with the fact they make Shadow invincible, but they make it easier to get yourself killed and lose an S rank. You do get unlimited boost, and the stage is littered with rings though, which makes Doom Wings viable but not needed to be honest. But the first thing I want to say about Act 2 is the music fucking slaps. No clue what to label this as or the type of music it is, but it's good. When it comes to Act 2 as a stage, it's amazing. High pathways to take, chaos skips to save time. There's also the normal slow main path to take. This stage has rail switches and circular rails to jump off of. It also comes with obstacles, enemies, and platforms you can break yourself, all to make this amazing 2D stage that is 20 times better than Act 1 in my opinion at least. When it comes to Doom Wings, if you know Act 2 well, it's the ultimate speed cheat. You can skip all the enemies and obstacles, taking a path higher than the top path, making this level a fun breeze. When it comes to Rail Canyon, it's an amazing stage. It's what any rail level should be. For me personally, I'm just not a huge fan of the rails, man. I just can't get behind them. Now, choosing the 5th and 4th place stages was a difficult choice for me. I kept switching back and forth, but I eventually made my decision. In 5th place, we've got Sunset Heights. So starting with Act 1, I want to talk about the catchy music it has, which comes from Sonic Forces. It's a good song with nothing bad about it at all, but it's my least favorite song in the whole game, except for Westopolis from the Tokyo stage. It just doesn't hit like the other stages' themes. My favorite part of this stage is the design. Going through a destroyed city in a war, it's amazing, from a spectacle standpoint at least, but it would suck for the people in the war zone. Anyways, you start with the level running past a bunch of destroyed houses, then through a shopping plaza filled with killer robots. You head through the stage and get introduced to this huge ass robot who's throwing rubble, which leads to an amazing chaos skip where you're doing multiple homing dash attacks from rubble to rubble to take a shortcut in a separate path. Continuing through the stage, you get a cool cutscene where this nigga Shadow dodges laser beams and robots swinging at him. You then go through this underground section with multiple paths, which the top path is obviously the best and the fastest, which can only be accessed through chaos control. Then there's the Doom section, which is my favorite one. It's basically a Bankai Doom level, Shinji's Bankai to be specific. First go watch a true Sonic fan play Shadow Generations and the whole Bleach anime to understand. After you complete the Doom section, Act 1 comes to an abrupt end. Act 1 is a really fun level, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't have the same greatness as the rest of the levels. Plus, the music just really isn't doing it for me. Getting to Act 2 of Sunset Heights, it's literally peak. Act 2 is the main reason Sunset Heights got placed as high as it did, to be honest. It has the level design of a classic Sonic game down to the T. You take the high paths to get the fastest time, and in this level you need to use chaos control. You have to go through multiple sections where big robots from Act 1 are destroying platforms you're going across. Using chaos control allows you to slow down time getting through these sections before these platforms are destroyed, staying on the higher path or even the middle path. Then the next amazing area is the sewers, which are split up into 3 sections, a high path, a middle path, and a lower path. While going through the sewers, you have to watch out for pipes sending out water, which will send you to the bottom of the stage, which will make you Doom Surf. I forgot to mention that this stage's Doom gimmick is the Doom Surf, which is fine, but it's reserved for the slower bottom path except for a few sections. So something I forgot to talk about for both acts before I close this section up is Doom Wings. So when it comes to Act 1, they are handy for the infinite boost and the no damage in the Doom section, so Doom Wings will help cut down your time, but I feel Act 1 is more satisfying without the Doom Wings personally. Now when it comes to Act 2, Doom Wings is the ultimate high path cheat, allowing you to take the high path and go faster than normal. Then in the sewer area, Doom Wings allows you to fly over it and even skip sections. Doom Wings make an amazing Act 2 even better, so that's my feelings on Sunset Heights. Now in 4th place we've got Radical Highway. The best thing about this stage is it's got 2 3D acts, unlike every other stage. You would think having 2 3D stages would make this stage a top 3 bare minimum, but if it isn't obvious, I really like the 2D stages in this game, but let's get into the stage. Starting with the music, both acts 1 and 2 hit, I won't lie. I'm talking about these together because of how they connect. Act 1 song is the Radical Highway OST from Sonic Adventure 2, but the Act 1 music and stage are the calm before the storm, as the music and the stage ramp up in the next act. Act 2's music is the first act's remixed, but with more aggression and it's more serious, and even chaotic, which lines up with the stage itself. Now that I got the music out the way, let's actually talk about the acts themselves. They are so goddamn fucking difficult. In Act 1, we've got a stage that's similar to Radical Highway from SA2. It is pretty much, but with small Doom corrupted influences. But the sad part is, the stage is missing the chaos of being chased by Gun, which detracts from Act 1 in my eyes. So when you start Act 1, there are already 2 different paths to take, but they both lead to the same building, which leads to a cutscene if you have Doom Wings equipped. Then Shadow talks about overcoming every obstacle and you get to take the top path, flying through the whole stage pretty much, with platforms and rings littered throughout so you can keep up the form to survive. Though there is a section where the stage connects back together a few different times, but with Doom Wings you spend most of your time flying through the air between buildings and a few obstacles. Now if you don't equip Doom Wings, it's a whole different story. you get to go through an amazing but slightly switched up Radical Highway. Let me tell you something, the level design is crazy. There are so many different paths and skips in this level, it's insane. Doesn't matter if it's up, down, left, right, and at some point an alternate path is going to show up. Trying to maintain speed and get good time while taking these paths are extremely difficult, but they're actually pretty fun. It just doesn't help that this stage also has falling platforms, shielded enemies, poles over death pits, and doom enemies. Now I know that sounded like I don't like it, but I really do like it. It's just very difficult. There aren't a lot of safe havens in this level, and it pisses me off because I'm ass. But hey, what else can you do? Now, moving into Act 2, at the time of writing this, and even voicing this later, for me personally, without Doom Wings, Act 2 of Radical Highway is the hardest fucking stage in the whole game. It's just diabolical. Like I said earlier, this stage is 3D, not 2D, and the parkour in this level is crazy. First of all, you got literal parts of the stage being thrown at you. You're climbing through a broken Radical Highway reality. Then you're dealing with these huge enemies which cause tornadoes for some reason. Though these guys are super easy to beat, which was kind of disappointing for how they look. A cool thing I found out when you beat these big enemies, you can use them to skip sections, which were spinning road sections. Like the stage flipped and it was horrible for me. I died so many times on my first few playthroughs and I hated them. But I don't hate them now, I actually love them now because I'm better at them, but they still mess me up. But this is an amazing stage racing through a broken down reality, even though it's insanely difficult and nobody can tell me it's not. Now when it comes to Doom Wings in this stage, it's not the same as Act 1. In Act 1, Doom Wings basically turn the level into another stage. There are a few secondary paths with wings in Act 2, but the wings really help with a lot of difficult platforming parts on this stage, or even areas that lack platforms, or even have spinning platforms. Basically anything in this stage, Doom Wings is probably going to help with it. But this stage also doesn't have any chaos skip or ability to use chaos control, which sucks, and I don't remember in the story why you can't use chaos control. I think you lost it? No, he had the fake emerald. Maybe chaos took it, but you can't use it for some reason, which really sucks because I loved chaos control. Would have came in so much handy during that stage part. But all around, Radical Highway is a great stage, with Act 1 being a great, somewhat of a remake of the Sonic Adventure 2 stage, while Act 2 is an original new stage that is just a blast to play through. Coming into the top 3 stages, we've got the Space Colony Arc. This is an amazing starter stage for a Sonic game, maybe one of the best. Fuck Green Hill. Jumping into Act 1, this is more of a straightforward level with different paths littered throughout. Though the different paths in this stage feel more like skips than different levels, if you get what I mean. Anyways, you take off through the level, traversing through space off rails, asteroids, and those weird green platforms which were in Sonic's campaign in SA2. A lot of the alternate paths are above or to the side of the main path in this stage, which is cool and teaches players to look for higher paths in future levels. As you get deeper into the level, chaos control is introduced, as well as a lot of missiles. Normally when you get hit by a missile, you lose rings, which makes sense, but that's where chaos control comes in, as well as teaching players an important mechanic of the game. Chaos control freezes all objects and can turn them into platforms, which leads to this dope ass section where bro uses missiles like a damn walkway, which then goes into this dope ass scene where bro beats the crap out of what I'm guessing is the equivalent of a space nuke. What also makes the stage amazing is artificial chaos, mainly because they aren't a pain in the ass like they are in SA2, but sadly this great stage gets cut by a Doom section, which breaks my heart because the stage was so good. Shadow starts falling through the Doom dimension and everything looks like he took one of Mario's mushrooms. And now this isn't a bad Doom section, it has a few adjacent paths to take, but pretty tame all things considered. You get to the end, beat some robots, and hit Starro and get sent back to the Ark. Now when it comes to Doom Wings in this level, they mostly help with cutting down time and skipping sections. No specific level section for wings, but the music in this act is hype as fuck, but that's really all I gotta say about Act 1. When it comes to Act 2, it's an amazing 2D level, which takes inspiration from Shadow's Ark level in SA2 with the big spinny things you have to jump from. My only issue with the big spinny things is they move Shadow so slow in this game, especially compared to how fast they moved him in SA2, which can kill pacing. Without Doom Wings, this level is amazing. It has a fast top path and a slow bottom path like a good 2D Sonic stage, but Doom Wings unlock the true top path. Doom Wings allow you to stay at the top of the stage, which is the fastest path, even having platforms and rails, but this stage is perfectly fine to play without Doom Wings. The full experience is with it, and is also part of what earns the stage a high spot. The design of this stage in space and on the arc, with the serious loud rock on the first act and the more streamlined music in the second act, are amazing. As well as the use of Chaos Control and Doom Wings all earn this stage the 3rd spot. Coming into 2nd place, we've got Chaos Island. This stage is peak in my opinion. Well, almost peak. One stage is better. I really like Sonic Frontiers and also the fact it's original in a lot of ways, and this stage continues that originality and gives me renewed faith in the Sonic team. I also struggled with this stage in my first couple playthroughs, so I only grew to love it more. Before I dive into Act 1 and 2, I gotta say, if you don't like Doom Morph, you probably won't like this stage. It's utilized a lot in it, and it can be a deal breaker for those who don't like it, but that's not an issue for me personally. Jumping into Act 1, you get launched on the Chaos Island, which I didn't remember the name of in my first playthrough. You get introduced to the Doom Morph Ball, which is used in the stage instantly. Now when it comes to skips or alternate paths or the fastest path, they are everywhere. Above you, below you, and to the goddamn sides. A big reason I love this stage so much is the design. You see that big robot from Sonic Frontiers, as well as volcanoes, mountains, and temples. The stage has amazing backgrounds as you race through it, and also the stage is pretty big and open, reminiscent of Sonic Frontiers, which has a huge hub world, but obviously on a smaller scale. Heading on through the stage, you fight robots from Sonic Frontiers that I don't remember the name of. As you continue, more sections for Doom Morph pop up. Mastering this new form is so fun because it opens up the fastest paths, allowing you to cut down your time each playthrough, and it's also a skill gap, allowing you to get good, get better. Going forward, you reach a rail segment, which shows off a cool scene in the background of a volcano going off, which for people who played Frontiers know this was caused by Sonic because he was playing Sonic Spinball in the volcano. Heading into the temple leads to a few different paths, the fastest one having you get across moving platforms, being easy to get through with Chaos Control. There is another area to use Chaos Control. Then after zooming through a lava field, the level finishes out climbing up a volcano, or it could be a mountain, but I'm pretty sure it's a volcano that has 2 paths, but they both finish in the same place. When it comes to using Doom Wings in this stage, they are amazing. They replace the use for Doom Morph in this stage for a lot of sections, realistically all of them. They can also replace the use for Chaos Control in areas as well. It's a great addition for those who don't like to use Doom Morph, but in reality, it's even more of an amazing stage for this fact. If you're good at Doom Morph as well, using Doom Wings plus Doom Morph to zoom through this stage is amazing. Plus the use of Chaos Control making you a speed demon and super fun to replay. Act 1 is a blast to replay with or without Doom Wings. When it comes to the music of Act 1, it's a cool beat, but I don't think it was from Sonic Frontiers. I only remember melancholy music in that game. Now, continuing into Act 2, like Act 1, it'll be a decisive make or break moment for people if they like this stage because of Doom Morph. When it comes to the music of Act 2, it's cool and upbeat. I think it's called Synths, but I don't know for sure. I mainly listen to rap and rock, and I slept through most of music theory. Moving on to Act 2, at the start you're running to the island dodging balls, no Diddy, it ain't like that though. Anyways, you keep going using Doom Morph to get through certain areas, you head to a temple and use Doom Morph to get through that, then you reach platforms that slow the pace down to a screeching halt, which I really don't like, unless you got Doom Wings, then you can skip these sections and fly through them. You do the last platform section, then get thrust into a 3D section. You can't move shadow left or right, it's just for design and looks cool, and then the level ends. Now I can see how some people don't like the 2D level. Without Doom Wings, this level can feel a bit slow. Pretty much really slow, but mainly due to the moving platform sections. But aside from that, Act 1 and 2 are amazing and original, especially amazing because I like the Doom Morph. Being so original and genuinely fun earned Chaos Island the 2nd spot. Now, in first place, the best stage in all Shadow Generations is Kingdom Valley. This stage, like Sonic P06, is literal peak. Before I get into the details about this stage, everything about it is amazing. It has the best attributes of every single stage. Amazing background, big areas to run through, great music, Chaos Control skips, Doom Power sections, great skips, and level design. Every single good thing another stage has, Kingdom Valley has 20 times more. That's a fact, no cap, no lie, no homo, shit is peak. Also, this stage has no Doom section. I'll repeat it one more time, no Doom section. So that automatically gives it extra points. Jumping into Act 1, the first thing I want to talk about is the music. We get this serious piece of music. I got no clue what instruments are being used or what type of music it is at all. The shit just slaps and goes so well, especially because of the design of the stage. Of course, since I know Sonic goes 6 lower, I know why the music is serious, because of Sonic rushing through Kingdom Valley get to Elise. which he does in pretty much every level of Sonic 06, but that's diving into a whole other thing. So starting Act 1, you get introduced to 2 gimmicks this stage will have, which already puts it above other stages, the first being wind rails, which are activated by hitting green switches you find throughout the levels. Some of these wind rails even lead to alternative paths as well as skips. The other gimmick of this stage are ropes, which you can ground pound on to get more height, which often lead to other paths or even skips. You get skips and alternative paths the moment you start this level, making repeat runs so fun. But after taking off, you eventually make it to the Doom ability section of this level, which is Doom Surf. This level also brings trick ramps. These are seen in Sonic Generations City Escape level. Continuing on, you reach another water section with 3 different paths, all leading to different things but meeting back up. The next section of the stage has you going up a tower from the outside, which I love because you can zoom up this thing with the boost. See, in Sonic 06 you go slower compared to Shadow Generations, which makes sense, but it's something that also makes me appreciate Shadow Generations version more because of the boost mechanic. You then make it into the actual tower and have to wipe out some enemies in there. Fun stuff, which technically does slow down the stage, but it's so fun it doesn't really matter. You can also use chaos control so you don't have to worry about time. You then get to ride an eagle, which is cool as fuck, and there's multiple of these throughout the stage. Then you get a chaos skip, which I struggled with for a few runs, stopping time and sending this nigga through glass, which is super satisfying. You then go through a rail section with some area of solid platforming, similar to Rail Canyon, but only a section, not a whole stage. You then get the new running down a building scene. As you continue through the stage, there is another water section which has a chaos skip, which is super handy. To finish off the level, you run through a split water section looking like Moses parting the damn seas, making the end to the best 3D act in all of Shadow Generations. Now my only issue with this stage is the ending not comparing to the Sonic PO6 version. I'm not trying to drag it down at all, but I can't help but compare. In Sonic 06, you are literally running across a wall of water. That shit would have been so dope in Shadow Generations, especially because the boy got hover boost, so it don't add up fully why he wasn't doing that. But in the end, I absolutely love Kingdom Valley Act 1. When it comes to the Doom Wings, there are no specific Doom Wing sections. They just make certain sections easier, speedrunning more fun, and add replay value. Moving into Act 2, this is the best 2D stage in the game. It gives me Sonic Unleashed vibes. Getting into the level of Act 2, there isn't a full top path, but when there is an option to go higher, it is the fastest. This level brings back the wind rail gimmick, which works perfect in 2D. We then get introduced to a 3D shot, which is the first of a couple 3D shots this level will have. You then head to a wall jump section and continue through the level encountering cannons, enemies, and more wall jumping. With enemies, you can throw them into switches to activate the wind rails and skip parts of the stage, which cuts down time and is pretty fun. The next section of the stage where chaos control comes in handy has lots of moving walls and platforms that will crush you. Also, there's this cool ass scene where you gotta outrun the roof coming down using chaos control too. You make it outside and start climbing up a tower using wind rails, cannons, enemies, and rope. Once you make it to the top, you beat the level, ending off an amazing stage. Now when it comes to the music of Act 2, it's the OST from Act 1 but slightly remixed with synths added, I believe, which sounds amazing. When it comes to Doom Wings in Act 2, they don't really have a designated purpose. They feel really unnecessary for this level, to be honest, but they are fun to use in this level and may help with skipping a few sections, but ultimately not needed for Act 2 or even Act 1, to be honest. Doom Wings aren't needed. These levels are too good on their own. They add value, but these levels are just perfect how they are. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the scripted video because I did like making it, even though it gave me a headache and I'm tired of hearing my own voice. It's genuinely aggravating to hear myself speak now. Jesus Christ, you have no idea. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the scripted video. I really liked making it, and I feel like a nerd now. I really feel like a nerd, but it's okay because I am a nerd, or I'm a geek. Anyway, I'm going off track with this outro. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a comment on your guys' favorite levels. I'm gonna be honest, this is post-editing everything and refilming certain scenes, including footage, and I'm not gonna lie, Radical Highway is probably my second favorite stage now. But you know, I hope you guys enjoyed the ranked video, and I've got one coming for bosses. I've got a boss ranked video coming, and then I'll be moving on to Sonic Generations. It's taken me years. Then I've got a Dark Souls scripted video coming too that's already finished. Like, I did it ages ago, and I just need to like record the voice lines. Yeah, the script's finished, but yeah, I'm just rambling now at this point. You're getting rambling. You're getting more of my voice. I'm literally listening to my own voice now. It's a mind freak. Anyways, enough rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm shaking my desk. I will see you in the next one.